the first thing with circle geometry, and I know you're not going to believe me when I say this, because most of the time you think your teachers are out to get you. I promise you, in the information that's being given to you, the teachers are trying to tell you things to help. They're trying to give you little like signals. So when you see certain things, you need to look for certain things. So first, let's have a look here. So it's telling us that AB is a chord. So that is important. We're going to come back to that just now. We're going to start with something nice and easy. The circle is centered O. Now, whenever you see something where it tells us we've got a center of an O, we're going to look for a couple of things. We're going to look for your rule like this. Who can tell me what that looks like? What's going on in this little picture I've drawn? You don't have to tell me the exact words of the reason. Just give me an idea of what's going on in that little picture. So if we have a circle, yes, hi.
Center O is double the angle at the circumference.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for speaking. I love it. Okay, so if we have X over here at our circumference, then our center is going to be 2X. Okay, so if we're told that we've got a center of a circle, that's something we're going to look for. The other thing we are going to look for is radii. Okay, radii seems so simple, but it lands up being the thing that tricks the most people. Okay, let's start there. Who can tell me in this picture on the right-hand side, so we're not even looking at the questions yet, we're just looking at the picture. What are my radii? What is equal to what is equal to what? You don't have to give me numbers or anything, just the letters. So like, as an example, that's one of my radii. So AO. What is AO equal to? Good. OB, beautiful.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Isn't AD equal to DB?
Yes, beautiful. Let's write that in as well. So we know that AD is equal to DB. Can you tell me what the value is? What are they each equal to?
6, 6.
Oh, careful.
12, 12.
Yes, yes. Okay. And it's because they told us that AD is equal to 12. Okay, so we're going to say given for that. Cool. So we know that this dude over here is 12. Excellent. We know that AO is equal to OB. I'm looking for one more radii. What else is that equal to? OE, yes, good. Okay. And then we're just going to have a little reason over here for radii. Cool. Okay. That's a good start. So we haven't even looked at the questions yet. We've just written in some things that we know are true. Okay. Now let's have a look, because you're going to be like, oh, well, that's so easy now, because we're little brain buffs. A says, determine the radius OB in terms of X. So we need to try and figure out what this is in terms of X. Who is feeling brave and wants to give this a go? My highlighting should help you a little bit. Remember, if you feel embarrassed, send it as a direct message. But what do you think it's going to be equal to in terms of X? Don't be scared to give it a go. I'm going to highlight some other important pieces of information over here. Oh, goodness, that is not highlighting at all. Yeah, that might help. Oh, okay. We're getting somewhere. I like what you're thinking. I like the plus X. I don't like the 12 as much. but I definitely like the plus x. Let's see if we can work on that and get it into something nicer. So the angle is going to be 90 degrees. That's going to be 90, but not the length of the side. Ah, here we go. 8 plus x. There we go. There we go. There we go. Nice. Okay, let's talk about y. So absolutely. So OB is going to be equal to, and I'm just going to write it in brackets as x plus 8 centimeters. I'm just putting it in brackets because it'll help us in the second part of the question. Now, why is it x plus 8? Because we know that ED is 8 and we know that DO is x. And so that means that this whole line over here is 8 plus x. And we know that they are radii. So if that is 8 plus x, then that means that this is 8 plus x or x plus 8. Same, same. Does anyone not understand that before we move on to B? Please let me know. Even if you're just like, I have no idea what's going on, just let me know that so that I can slow down the pace. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, in this process, someone said 90, and I said that D is equal to 90, which is correct. Angle D is equal to 90. I want you to keep that in mind as you think about B. So now there's something important in B. B has the word hence. Whenever you see the word hence in a question, it means you're going to use whatever you figured out in the previous question. That means we are going to use the fact that we know that OB is equal to x plus 8. We are going to use that. Okay. So I'm going to highlight something over here for you. And I want you to think about what would be our first step in trying to figure out something going on in this triangle. You don't have to give me the whole thing, just the first step. And if you can give me the reason with that first step, that would be magical. Think about that 90.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
isn't it going to be the radii OE bisecting the chord AB? That's why angle D is 90 degrees.
Yes, beautiful, 100%. Okay, so we know that this over here, this dude is going to be at 90 degrees because this chord is being cut, and it's being cut from the line from the center, and it's being cut, it's bisecting it, which means it's cutting it in half. So if we're bisecting a chord from the center, we know that that's going to be at 90 degrees. So the first thing we need to do is we need to say that we know that. Guys, it's so important. When it comes to geometry, you have to pretend that the person marking your paper is so stupid. Like they don't know anything. They know nothing in this world. They only know what you tell them. So if you don't write it on your piece of paper, then they don't know it. So if we don't write that D is equal to 90 degrees, then the marker doesn't know that. So we need to be clear about that. So we're going to say angle ODB is equal to 90 degrees. And then we're going to give our reason for that. And that is that the line from center to midpoint chord. Okay, so it's a line from the center of our circle to the midpoint of our chord, means that that angle is at 90 degrees. So now we know that that's 90. Now that we know that that's 90, I'm going to draw you a little picture. Actually, let me draw it in exactly the same shape as this triangle so that you can see. We know that that's 12. We know that that's x, and we know that this is x plus 8. This is B, D, and O. If you were given this picture over here in grade 9, what would you do? Yes, you would do Pythagoras, 100%. Okay. So keeping that in mind, does everyone remember Pythagoras? Do I need to write a little cheat sheet for you over here on the side? Let's do one quickly over here. Yeses, okay. So in Pythagoras says that our hypotenuse, which is the longest side of a triangle, squared, is equal to the sum of the other two sides of our triangle squared. So a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And our reason for that is Pythagoras. Okay, so this line over here is your hypotenuse. It's the line that is opposite the 90-degree angle.
Ma'am,
Yes.
when do we say a squared minus b squared equals c squared when we're using Pythagoras?
So if you were trying to find one of the other sides and they gave you the hypotenuse, then you would say c squared minus a squared equals b squared. So only if they've given you the hypotenuse. Okay, so with that little cheat sheet that I've written over there and this little blue triangle that I've drawn for you up here, I would like you to please tell me what my number sentence is going to look like. So you don't need to have things written out just yet. Just tell me what I'm going to write in this next step. I know that my reason is going to be Pythagoras. Oh, I saw an unmute and I got so excited.
Ma'am, did you mean in terms of Pythagoras or like another step to finding length of OB?
So we're trying to find the length of OB. So we're trying to find X, right? So how can I use this triangle and Pythagoras to try and find X?
Aren't you gonna say x plus 8 squared since it's the hypotenuse?
Beautiful.
Is to x squared, which is the x-axis, right? And then you're gonna say plus 12 squared.
100%. That's all I asked. That's beautiful. That's perfect. While I have you on the line, you can unmute yourself again. What would I do with the situation over here where I've got x plus 8 in brackets squared?
Then you're gonna
Expand.
How would I expand that?
two factors, which is x plus 8, and then into x plus 8. So you're gonna have two factors of x plus 8, x plus 8.
Beautiful. Okay, guys, when in doubt, write it out. So if you feel like you can't do it the quick way, write out both brackets, x plus 8, x plus 8. And that's equal to x squared plus 144. Okay. Keep on working. You can work and you can give me the next line in the chat. What is my next line going to look like over here? You're going to be doing your FOIL now. So you're going to multiply everything by everything and let me know what that's equal to. I'm sorry, guys. I know my writing is probably not nearly as neat as Teacher Sam's, but hopefully you can still see what I'm writing. What is this next line going to look like? Nice. I don't know why you needed to send that as a direct message. You're 100% correct. Good. Okay. So we're going to land up with x squared plus 16x plus 64 is equal to x squared plus 144. Okay. So now my x squareds are going to cancel with each other. I'm going to have to write on the side, which is like not allowed in maths, but I've written too big. So we land up with 16x is equal to 144 minus 64. So 16x is equal to 80. How would I figure out what x is equal to now? If I have 16x is equal to 80.
Divide by 16.
Yes, glorious. Divide both sides by 16. So x is equal to 5. Okay, now that I've done all that work, Have I answered the question? Let's read our question again. Hence, calculate the length of radius OB. Have I done that? What is radius OB equal to? Ah, there we go. Now we've got some answers. Okay. Radius OB is equal to x plus 8 or 8 plus x. We now know that x is 5. So 8 plus 5. And so my final answer is going to be 13 centimeters. Please feel free to take a screenshot of this mess in front of you. And if anyone has any questions about what you are currently seeing, if there's something you don't understand or you would like some clarification on, or you'd like me to go into a little bit more detail on, please ask. You don't need to be embarrassed. You can ask it out loud if you don't want to type it, or you can send it as a message in the chat, or you could send it as a direct message just to me. All of those are fine. But I want to make sure you're all comfortable. Okay, that's a great question. So the question was, why is OB, so this is all the way back in this beginning question over here, why is OB not equal to 8x? Why was it equal to x plus 8? Can anyone tell me why? Does someone feel brave enough to explain why it's equal to x plus 8 and not 8x? No brave souls today. There we go. Hello.
Isn't it because the line is divided into like, they're like two parts, so like you should add the two so that it's the radii of OB, like it's equal to OB, like kind of.
That's perfect. The way you've said it is great. It's two parts. So you're taking this first part and you're adding the second part. So you're saying, what is this part plus this part? When we say 8x like that, we're saying 8 times x. So that means that there would be 8 x's. And we don't know how many x's there are. So we just need to be careful when we're adding two lines together. It's definitely going to be a plus. But this is a very common mistake. Very common mistake. And so I'm glad that you made it, because now you hopefully won't make it in a test or an exam. Very common mistake. Beautiful. Nice job, guys. Okay, let's move on to question 2. Okay. So now before we jump into the questions, we're going to look at some things again. So starting, given that AOC is the diameter of the circle centered O. Again, we're seeing center O, okay? If we're seeing center O, that means we're going to be dealing with some radii. Who can tell me what my radii are here? What are my different radii? What is equal to what is equal to what?
OB is equal to OA.
And?
OA. OB and OA.
There's another one.
And also, I'm not sure.
Who can help out? What's our third one? Ah, there you go. Vuya's got as far as OC. Okay, so those are our 3 radii. So we've got, let's write that down. Remember, whatever we write, we are going to say, because we are assuming that our marker doesn't know what's going on. Okay, so we're going to say, I'm not putting this as part of the questions yet. We're just going to say AO is equal to OB, which is equal to OC, because they are all radii. Okay. The other thing when we have a diameter of a circle is, if I have a diameter of a circle like this, and that's going through the center, and I have a triangle that chills like that, what is this little dot? What is that angle going to equal?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. You're on fire today. Okay, so this is definitely going to be 90 degrees. So that's one of our other rules that we're going to look for when we have a diameter. Okay, I'm not going to show you just yet because I don't want to give everything away. Just want to help you out a little bit. Let's start looking at these questions now. So, question A, they would like to know the angle of B1 in terms of X. So we are trying to find that angle in terms of X. I'm ready for suggestions. And if we're feeling completely lost, you can ask for a hint and I will give you a hint.
Then is it going to be 90 minus x?
It's not going to be 90 minus X. Bukle? Oh, I can hear you trying, but I can't hear you properly.
I'm saying B1 is equal to X.
X. Absolutely, it's equal to X. Can you tell me why?
Because of angles opposite equal sides.
Yes, angles opposite equal sides. Beautiful. Okay. So now if you guys couldn't see that, that's perfectly normal. Let's quickly draw out our little triangle. Oh, that is a terrible version of this triangle. Okay, so we've got our little triangle over here. This is O, this is A, this is B. We know that this line is equal to this line because they are both radii. And we know that that is X. And so we're going to go all the way back to our grade 8 brains that when we have an isosceles triangle, then our angles that are opposite the equal sides are equal to each other. So we can start by writing that angle, so this is for A. We've already said those are radii, so that helps us. So angle B1 is equal to X, and our reason is going to be angles opposite equal sides. Okay, nice job. B is done. Let's look at the next one. O1. Now we're looking for this angle here. And if it helps you, we're looking for that little angle over there. Think about a triangle and think about how many angles the sum of a triangle are.
Isn't O1 1/8 minus 2x?
Yes, beautiful, 100%. Okay. So if I had to write this out the longer way, I know that all of my angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So I could say X plus angle O1 needs to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so that X plus X, that's going to equal 2X plus O1 equals 180. Now remember, teacher Sam keeps on telling you that maths is just about manipulation. That's all we're doing is we're manipulating equations. So all we're doing over here is we're going to say O1 and we're going to move that 2X's over there. So 180 minus 2X. That's all we have to do. Okay. Now we're going to write that up. We're going to give our reasons as we go along. So for B, we're working out O1. So we're going to say O1 is equal to 180 minus 2X. And my reason is going to be sum of angles in a triangle. Some of your teachers like you to say that that's equal to 180. That's absolutely fine. Please do whatever your teacher is asking you to do in class. Okay, so now we know that this angle in here, let's quickly write it in, is 180 minus 2x. Cool. Now we're going to look at our next one. So next one is C. So now we are looking for this angle over here. Now for this angle, I want you to think about what I said right at the beginning of the lesson. I promise it will help. So you're going to need to say something first. You're going to need to give me a statement over here. and then you can give me your answer. That's my little hint.
Ma'am, can I ask?
Yes, absolutely.
So, ma'am, if triangle ABC is subtended by a diameter, right?
Yes.
Our angle B1 plus 2 plus 3 will give us 90 degrees, right? Giving the
Absolutely.
reason that it's subtended by a diameter. So if A1 is X, can we say that angle C is 90 minus X because it's given that A1 is X and then B is 90?
Look
And
at
some of the
you.
triangles are
Yes, that is 100% right. That is exactly what you're going to do. You're absolutely right. So all we're going to do is we're just going to write everything that you've just said. We're just going to write it down in our little reasons now. But that was perfect. Okay. So because AOC is our diameter and we've got B chilling over here on our circumference, all of those angles together. So B1 plus B2 plus B3. Let's write it over here just for clarity for anyone who's feeling a little bit lost. Is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so we're going to say angle B, so that's the whole of angle B, is equal to 90 degrees. And now we have to give a reason for it. So our reason here is angles in a semicircle. Okay, cool. So we have done our first statement and our first reason. Now we know that that is 90 degrees. Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed with what's going on in this picture, just draw yourself a little triangle. I promise it helps. So if we draw out our little triangle, we've got B, we've got A, and we've got C. We know that B is 90 degrees. We know that A is X. That makes finding C much, much easier because it's basically the same as like a grade 8 question then. So all we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm going to write it out the long way for anyone who's feeling confused. X plus 90 plus C is equal to 180 because of sum of angles in a triangle. So we're going to say C is equal to 180 minus 90 minus X. And so C is equal to 90 minus X. Great. Okay. Last angle for this question. Oh my goodness, we got an answer coming in already in direct messages, and it is correct, and your reason is correct, which makes me want to just give you a big kiss. Nice job. Good job, guys. 100%. I'm going to give those who haven't had a chance to look at it just a little bit of chance to look at it, and then we'll go over why. I'm going to do some highlighting for you with this question because I think it helps. You guys are such brain buffs. I think for question 3, I'm going to let you do it by yourselves. I'm not going to give you any hints. You're too smart. Okay. What we've got over here is we've got a beautiful bow tie. And when we have a bow tie, we have angles in same segment. So we're going to say for D, this angle over here, angle D is also equal to 90 minus X because of angles in same seg. Yeah, angles subtended by same chord, also fine. Also angles subtended by same arc, if that's how you've learned it. Both of those are fine. Nice. Please take a screenshot if you would like one. And if you have any questions, ask away. You can send them as direct messages if you'd like. Any questions are welcome. I think because you guys are so smart, I'm going to ask you an additional question. You're all right. D is definitely 90 minus X. And I like your reason. Angles and same seg. Who can give me another reason that you could have used to tell me that angle D is equal to 90 minus X? What would be another reason you could use? And this will help you in your next question. That's why I'm asking. One of you even given me the reason earlier today, so I know you know it. Maybe that will help. But you can't really see the yellow, I suppose.
Angle at center. Then
Yes, angle at center is double angle at circumference. Exactly. This angle at center is 180 minus 2x. And so half of that would be 90 minus x. So you could also use that as a reason. Nice job. Beautiful. Okay, let's jump down to question 3. Look at the shocked little face. I love it. Love it. Okay. Question 3. Oh, I said I wasn't going to give you any hints, but I do want to just say one more thing. So I'm not going to say a lot, and I'm not going to draw it in the picture. I'm going to draw it separately. When we are given a sentence where we have a tangent, okay, we want to look for 2 different things. Oh my goodness, my dog is now barking at me. I don't know what's happening down there. When we have a tangent, one of the things we want to look at is if we have a line coming from the center to our tangent, we want to think about our tan perpendicular to rad situation. Okay, so we want to think about that. The other thing we want to think about when we have a tangent is the tan chord theorem. Now, the tan chord theorem, I like to think of it as a windsurfer. Okay, so imagine this is you and you're windsurfing. So you're holding onto your board. Okay, this is the ocean down here. Whatever you would be looking at, that's the angle that's the same. And that's your tan chord theorem. Okay. That's the only help I'm giving you. I want you to now have a look at this question. So they've told you that O is the center. They've told you that TAN is the tangent. They've told you that tan is perpendicular to BC. And they would like you to find the angles of A, B, C, and D. So start from the beginning. Find A first. And when you've given me your answer, I want to see the reason or hear the reason if you're talking to me. So I want to know the angle and I want to know the reason. And I know you're all brain buffs, so I'm not going to help. I know the strategy. So keep quiet so that your teacher says the answer. And it's not happening here. Yes, look at you guys.
ma'am,
Mm.
angle OAC is equals to 32.
OAC is equal to 32. Okay, sure.
Because of OA is a chord and it's perpendicular to the tangent.
Okay.
And then I also said that angle C is equals to 32 as well because of its equal radii.
Yeah.
And then I said angle B is 116 because of sum of angles in a triangle.
And then you worked out because of 2 times the
Yes,
angle.
58.
That's brilliant. That's a great way of working it out. It's It's very, very clever to work it out that way. Absolutely right. 100%. We can do it in one step, and that's just by doing tan chord theorem, but what you've done is beautiful. Okay, so this is your tangent over here. This is your little windsurfer, a windsurf board. I don't know what they're called. And you've got your person chilling over here. That's our 58 degrees. So we're looking at where is our person looking, and our person is looking over there, which means A is going to be 58 degrees because of the tan chord theorem. But what you did was beautiful. So I'm going to say A is equal to 58 degrees, tan chord theorem. Okay, cool. Now we know that this is 58. Now, for those of you who are listening, you'll actually be able to do B really quickly because B was given to you in our previous answer by our previous brain buff. Presumably, yes, good. A is equal to 2B. I like it. I'm going to even write it like that. A is equal to 2B. I'm going to actually just go down a line this so that I've got some space to write. Okay, A is equal to 2B. Angle at center equals 2 times angle at circ. Okay, and we know what A is. We know A is equal to oh, sorry, I've written this wrong. A is not equal to 2B. A is equal to 2A. I mean, yes, 2 of B's is equal to 1A, yes. No, that's wrong. 2 A's is equal to 1B. No? Oh, guys, I'm getting myself so confused here. Yes, 2 A's. No. Yes. What happens when you try and do maths this late in the day? 2 A's is equal to 1B. There we go. Okay, we got there eventually. We know that A is 58 degrees. So we're going to say 2 times 58 is equal to B. And so therefore B is equal to 116 degrees. You can jump straight by just saying B is equal to 116 degrees with the reason. That's also fine. Okay, we know now this is 116 after that little spiel. All right, next question. I am looking for C. So that is this angle over here. Don't overthink it. It's not 32. Nice. And I like the reason that you gave me over there as well. Beautiful. So C is equal to 58 degrees because of alt angles being equal. And remember, whenever we say that alt angles are equal, so that's our Z. That's the Z over here. Okay. Whenever we use alt angles, we have to say which lines are parallel. So we're going to say BC is parallel to TN. The really awesome thing about geometry is you get so many marks. So like for each of these, you would have gotten 2 marks. So you're already sitting on 6 marks just for doing that, which is really cool. Okay. And finally, D. I know you know the answer for D. I want to make sure you can tell me how to write it correctly. Okay, I like that. I like that D is equal to 90 minus 58. What would my reason be?
Ma'am,
Yes.
won't it be exterior angles of a triangle?
It wouldn't be exterior angles of a triangle because D isn't an exterior angle. If we were looking at that whole angle, we could do an exterior angle of a triangle. Line from center to midpoint chord. We haven't got a chord here. Yes, tan perp to rad, guys. Remember, tan perp to rad. tan, perp to rad. That's telling us that this is 90 degrees. Okay. And so therefore D is equal to oh, no. Nice. Good work. Please feel free to take a screenshot and question time. I'm going to give you a minute to ask a question, and then we're going to have a look at our next question. Okay. All right. Now this one is a little bit different. Okay. This is a proof situation. So they've told us that KLMN is a cyclic quad. All right. So we know that that's a cyclic quad, KLMN, because it's within our circle. They're telling us what's joined. They told us that KN is parallel to TS. Cool. They are wanting us to prove that LTSM, this. Oh gosh, that line is terrible. Not putting me under it. There we go. Okay. They want us to try and prove that that is a cyclic quad. How are we going to do this? How can we even start with a question like this? When we're given a question and we have no idea where to start, who has a good idea of how we can begin something? If we're looking at this and we're like, no, we don't know what's going on. Because we can't leave it blank. Okay, yeah, put your random angles in. Sure, sure. How about if I started with this? How about if I started and put an X in? So if I said that N1 is equal to X, what else is equal to X? Look for your alternate angle for me.
S1.
Sorry?
S1.
Not S1.
But isn't it because like KN and TS aren't they parallel and then like alternate angle? Because like they form a Z.
Yeah, there is an alternate angle, but it wouldn't be for S.
Okay.
Have a look for where that Z would be. Do you see it? Ah, there we go. There we go. T1. Okay. So because of our alternate angle, T1 would also be equal to X. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm just going to write down what we've written so far, even if we don't know what we're doing. So N1 is equal to X. And we're just going to say that we've given that. Okay. We're going to say T1 is equal to X because of, that was supposed to be an A, guys. Alt angles are equal when Kn is parallel to Ts. Okay. Who can give me another angle that's equal to X? Look for your bow tie and tell me what. Yes, that direct message. I love it. M1 is also equal to X. Okay, cool. M1 is equal to X because of angles in the same seg. Okay, now we're making progress. If that's our situation, who can tell me what angle T2 is equal to? This angle over here. Think of grade 8 maths. We've got a line. This is T. This is T1, this is T2. We know T1 is X. And we're trying to figure out what T2 is. Yes, beautiful. What would my reason for that be? So it's definitely 180 minus X. What's my reason? Angles on a straight line. Guys, do you see how these like little drawings can really help? Sometimes when you feel completely overwhelmed by things, if you can just draw out like a triangle or a line, it makes it clearer. You're like, oh, obviously that's what I need to do. Okay, so now I know that T2 is equal to 180 minus X, and I know that M is equal to X. Do I know enough now to say that it's a cyclic quad? And if I do, why? What do we know about cyclic quads?
That opposite angles equals to 180.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to be careful with how we write this because we don't know that it's cyclic yet. So we're going to say, okay, M1 plus T2 is equal to X plus 180 minus X. Okay. And that's equal to 180 degrees. Because they are equal to 180 degrees, then we can say, therefore, LTSM is cyclic because opposite angles equal 180 degrees. Or are supplementary, also totally fine. Nice job. You guys were superstars. Good work. Please feel free to take a screenshot